Oh my god, there's going to be some pronunciation challenges in this one. Quarantine. 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 I'll get there. Quarantine. Yes. Hello and welcome. My name's Tabby. I'm a film graduate, filmmaker and 2020 Leeds International Film Festival virtual volunteer. My role as virtual volunteer meant I was given access to a wide range of films, from shorts just a couple of minutes long to full features. It was a beautifully curated programme packed full of diverse and wonderful storytelling. And though the festival has come to an end, I'll leave a link to the official Leeds Film website down below so you can check out what else they have in store for the rest of the year. Today I'm going to talk you through my favourite films from the shorts programmes. I'll leave links in the description even where they're currently available to stream. I'll also chat briefly about my favourite features of the festival, a couple of which are already getting early awards season buzz. First up is A Devil in the Pocket, which is a French animated short that wouldn't seem amiss amongst a collection of Hans Christian Andersen tales, a chilling little narrative that sees a group of 7 children become complicit in a murder. Though its preoccupation with childhood innocence, and indeed the corruption of such a thing, is noteworthy in and of itself, it's the animation here that really makes this one worth a second look. My second film is Dat Yi, or Good Night. Set in Ghana, it begins with a frantic sequence through village streets as a group of children give chase to a chicken. In any other scenario, the quick cuts and shaky cam would be nearly unforgivable, but here it sets the tone for a film that really tries to engage with its young protagonists and all the chaotic, bundled energy that accompanies them. When a foreigner arrives in the village and proceeds to spend the day with 2 of the local children, it's easy to jump to conclusions as to his motives, but the film successfully blurs the lines so that the binaries of innocence and evil become a little less distinct. It's a short I'd love to see become a feature someday. Film number 3 is Dolapo is Fine. Dolapo is a high school student living in London by herself, sent away from her parents to obtain the very best education. Her friends call her Dollop, she rocks a dope afro, and to all intents and purposes she appears a pretty well-adjusted young adult. But when her dreams of working in finance become conditional on her tying down her hair, wearing a wig and introducing herself as Dolly, it throws into question her entire identity. When it comes to films like this, even if they're not attempting anything particularly new, I can't overstate the importance of their mere existence. Representation matters. When Dolapo questions what is being taught to her, she provides space for the audience to then go away and do the same thing. Film number 4 is The Present. On his wedding anniversary, Yusuf sets out on a journey across the West Bank to buy groceries and a gift for his wife. Accompanied by his young daughter Yasmin, the two are faced with obstacles in the form of soldiers, checkpoints and segregated roads. A chore that many of us within westernised societies are privileged enough to complete with ease become rife with danger, politics and posturing. To set a film in contemporary Palestine is to imbue it politically, whether intentionally or not. Filmmaker and Palestinian human rights advocate Farah Nabulsi navigates this complex and difficult territory with extreme grace and humility, crafting an iceberg narrative that is balanced and held firm by everything going on beneath the surface. Film number 5 is Queens. I love the idea of dusk acting as a gateway to our authentic selves. When the sun sets and you can go home to your friends and loved ones, dress up in whatever you want, act in whatever manner suits you, be whoever you want to be, wherever you wish. Queens is a glorious little tale of just that. The journey and transformation that entering into a safe space can grant you. What I love most about the short is that it provides a space for queer identities to exist without them becoming endangered or compromised. There's absolutely a time and a place for such depictions, but Queens offers up a sincere, hopeful illustration of what these kinds of spaces should look like. Welcoming, warm, fierce and uncompromising. After the passing of his mother, 9-year-old Elias goes to great lengths to convince Jesus to return her to him, and his methods aren't always pious, to say the least. An incredibly touching and sombre tale, its greatest strength is that it wholly embraces Elias's point of view, his defiance in the face of a strict Christian community, and their traditional values is made understandable amidst the confusion that he's feeling. We perceive this world through the eyes of a child, their past experiences and education dictating the way that they think and feel. It successfully anticipates Elias's moments of naivety and goes on to justify them. It's the film's specificity within a certain culture that gives it a fresh and authentic voice, but it's a testament to the handling of the subject matter that the voice in question is so wonderfully sympathetic. My first feature that I'm going to discuss today is the documentary 76 Days. Now, 76 Days is a fly-on-the-wall documentary that attempts to cover those first few harrowing weeks in Wuhan, China, during the early stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. Made without governmental permission, it's its own rebellious time capsule, one that's as scattered and structureless as the year it heralds. And it's a tough watch, it really is, and maybe it's too soon to be watching something like this, but if I had the power to sit everyone in the world down and make them watch it, I still would, because I don't think there's been a much greater testimony to human resilience, bravery, perseverance and compassion as what this last year has revealed to us. Everyone has been affected in some way or another by this pandemic. We all have. I didn't get to say goodbye to my friends before the quarantine hit at university. I didn't get to graduate. It's been almost a year since I last hugged my grandparents. I'm technically unemployed. I've barely left the house in 8 months, and I have close family members who have been directly impacted health-wise by the virus. For the vast majority of people, it's been pretty rubbish. But compared to the frontline healthcare professionals, I was sobbing not 5 minutes into this film. Mild spoiler alert if you want to avoid that sort of thing, but 76 Days opens with a nurse breaking down because her father has just passed away from COVID on her ward, and they won't let her see him. 2 of her colleagues are physically holding her up, begging her to calm down because they need her to continue working. And it's heartbreaking. I don't think that that level of sheer grief is ever reached again in the film, but it makes for one hell of an emotional punch. And as the documentary continues, you see familiar faces cropping up over time, certain patients that wander around, good, happy outcomes amidst the losses, moments of hope thrown in with the devastation. A very honest reflection, I think, of the time it depicts. Now, 76 Days has already been nominated for a Gotham Award, and I can easily see it as being one of the documentaries to watch this year if people can bring themselves to sit through it. A UK release is currently slated for January 2021. I'm giving 76 Days an 8 out of 10. It's probably the toughest watch of the year so far, but going forward I think it's an important document, a testament to humanity's ability to survive, essentially. There'll be a lot of COVID content coming to cinemas in the next decade, I'm sure. I'm already dreading the Michael Bay produced film, Songbird or whatever it's called. I'm pretty sure it's got Archie from Riverdale in it. Everyone who's a screenwriter or filmmaker is probably wanting to write something COVID-19 related. Please don't. Please don't. We don't need them. It's been a horrible year. Nobody has enjoyed this year, I don't think, unless you're in New Zealand, lucky you. And on that note, wear a mask. Film number 2 is The Mole Agent. Now, The Mole Agent is the filmic embodiment of a warm hug. A documentary that doesn't feel like a documentary because of how earnest its subject matter is. It follows 83-year-old Sergio as he goes undercover in a retirement home after a family becomes concerned for their elderly mother's well-being. Hired by private investigator Romulo, Sergio must learn the ways of modern technology, befriend the residents, and attempt to uncover any malpractice. But as his time in the retirement home goes on, he increasingly struggles to balance his assignment with the life and friendships he's formed there. I guess it starts out as a kind of undercover spy comedy, but as it goes on it becomes not necessarily less funny, but that humour becomes edged somewhat. Some of the residents don't get visitors, many are suffering from dementia, Alzheimer's, and it's a glimpse into how fragile life can be towards the end. I mean, you have all of these old ladies effectively lusting after Sergio because he's compos mentis, a gentleman, and they don't get many of them in there. And that certainly lifts the mood somewhat, and there are some very real characters in there. but there's almost this weight hanging over everything because a lot of them have just been left there by their families. I say it's weighty, but it was still one of the lighter films I saw at the festival. It's one to lift your mood, not bring it down. I'm giving Them All Agent an 8 out of 10. It was released on VOD channels last week in the UK, available on the likes of BFI Player and Curzon Home Cinema. The year is 1961. It's May in the Igloolik region of North Baffin Island. A white man who doesn't know a word of the local dialect crashes a hunting party in Kapuavik and, on behalf of the Canadian government, attempts to convince an Inuit elder to up and move his entire family to a settlement with the promise of a wooden hut, heating and schooling, to give up a self-sufficient way of life that has been shaped for over 4 millennia. This is a wonderful little film that primarily takes place in one location and focuses on one conversation. Repetitive, yes. Frustrating, yes. But that's essentially its superpower. We only need that one day to understand the days that take place on either side of it, to be given that glimpse of history. It's a life example of what happens when things get lost in translation, a lot of talking in circles, and an infuriating reminder of what was done to nomadic communities across the globe. The idea of a capitalist society here is absolutely ludicrous in the setting of snow, sea ice, hunting and community, living one day at a time. It's genuinely laughable. Money has no place here. It's handled with a grace that sees a fair amount of the runtime play out like a kind of fly on the sledge documentary. There's a compelling, grounded authenticity here. It's easy to forget at times that it's a dramatisation of the true story of Noah Piugattuk, an Inuk hunter that lived to the grand old age of 96, and there's a lovely reel of archival footage used in the film itself. I didn't go into the film with any expectations, I knew nothing about it, but I came out of it very pleasantly surprised. The risks it takes in terms of allowing itself to fall into a state of stagnation at certain points during its runtime, allow it to profit from this, I guess, cultivated state of frustration. I'm giving One Day in the Life of Noah Piugattuk an 8 out of 10. All the features are 8 out of 10, which is probably very repetitive, but that's why I chose to highlight those ones specifically, because they're all great. I've really enjoyed working with the Leeds Film team and hope to do a lot more of this sort of thing in the future. And that's all from me today. Drop a like down below if you enjoyed today's video. I'll send you a cosmic hug. Feel free to comment on any of the films I've discussed, whether you've seen them or wish to see them, and if you want more reviews, film festival coverage and best of lists, be sure to subscribe. Until next time.